Hi everybody, welcome back. We're talking about the story of Pete's new sweater. Now remember, Pete's aunt, Aunt Robbie, sent Pete a package. In the package were 2 presents, a birthday card, and some photos. And we're looking at the photos from Aunt Robbie, and she wrote a story on the bottom. Now so far, we saw that the sheep at the farm where Aunt Robbie works have thick wool on their bodies in the winter. What happens next? Well, let's read. The dogs help round up the sheep. Our dogs help round up the sheep. Round up. Round up is what we say when farmers or ranchers gather their animals together. So if it's a cattle, like cows, if it's a cattle rancher, they will round up the cows. If it's a horse farm, they will round up the horses. In this case, they're rounding up the sheep. And these dogs are very smart. These dogs are very good dogs. They're very smart and they know how to guide the sheep, right? The dogs guide them, the sheep, to the woolshed to be shorn. Now take a look at this word here, shed. It's 2 words put together. Shed is a small building outside a larger building where people keep things. It's where you have like extra room. In this case, they're keeping wool in these buildings. And look at the sheep. The sheep is okay, but look, it's getting a haircut, right? It's like a myeongshil for sheep. Sorry. It's like getting a haircut. The sheep's okay, right? But the farmer, the rancher, is using a tool to cut the wool off the sheep. It doesn't hurt the sheep. Just like if you got a haircut, it doesn't hurt you. It's the same thing. So the sheep's kind of like, looks like he likes it. It kind of feels good, right? But he's taking all the wool off. Afterwards, the sheep kind of look funny, right? But this is to be shorn. When I say it's like a haircut, we use this word for this exact thing, shorn. When you cut all the hair off of an animal, you shear it. This is past tense, to be shorn. To be shorn means to have all of their hair removed. Okay? After all the hair is moved, these sheep have been shorn. So that's a 조금 힘들어 word. Okay, it's a little difficult word. Okay. The sheep look funny, right? They look kind of funny without their wool. Remember before they looked big and fat and tough. Now they look cold and funny. But don't worry, 걱정하지 마세요. It soon grows back again. It will soon grow back again. So the sheep will get their wool back soon enough. Okay, but what does the farmer do with the wool? After the sheep are shorn, he's got a lot of wool in his shed. The wool is packed into bales. Bale is another specific word. It's a little hard word. It's not a common word, but it's used for this situation. They take the wool and they put it in big bales. Now, bales is used for wool from a sheep. Bale is also commonly used for hay. Hay. Hay is a type of plant grown on farms that animals eat. Horses eat hay. Cows eat hay. Sheep eat hay. But when you get the hay together, it's like a plant, kind of like wheat, but the farmers will get it together and they'll bundle it together. That's called a bale of hay. So bale is a word used for grouping things together, especially for things that you get from a farm, like wool or hay. Okay? It goes to a woolen mill. Now, a mill is like a factory. It's a big building, lots of machines inside the mill, and those machines do something, right? Those machines, you can see this is the woolen mill here, and these machines take the sheep's hair and it makes what? Some of the wool is made into yarn. Yarn. Here's another word It's a little, maybe a little difficult, but it's yarn. Yarn is a special type of material that is used to make clothing. Now, my shirt is not made from yarn because the fiber, the strings are small. Yarn is thick. Yarn is thick. If you have a sweater, take a look at your sweater. The fiber or the little strings, they're thick. That's yarn, and we can see the yarn here. Just one string of yarn, we can see it, right? That's thick. It's yarn. So, some of the yarn is knitted into sweaters like yours. If you have a sweater, right, that's what I'm saying. Take a look at your sweater. Oh, these are beautiful sweaters, aren't they? They're very nice. Probably very expensive, too. Wool is a very good material. And these types of sweaters, which are very beautiful patterns, they're a little expensive, but they're very warm and they're very soft. They're nice. So if you have a sweater like this, some of the yarn in the mills is made into sweaters like yours. Okay, let's review. Well, let's end up here. Pete put on his new sweater. He put on his new sweater. Now he knows where his sweater came from. He says, I like the story of my sweater, he said. Now, this is a great story, right? His aunt, really good aunt, his aunt sent him 2 gifts. His aunt sent him a toy sheep, and she sent him the sweater here. This is the sweater. And she also sent him a birthday card, of course. Hope you liked these 2 things. And she sent him some photos that told him the story of how his sweater was made. It starts with sheep, right? Sheep are on a farm. Baby sheep grow up. Baby sheep are lambs. Lambs, they play around. In the wintertime, their hair gets very thick. We call that wool. Dogs help the ranchers put the sheep into a woolshed. The sheep are shorn. The wool is packed into bales. Those bales are sent to a mill. In the mill, they make yarn, and the yarn is used to make your sweater or anybody's sweater. Whew. It's a long story, but we can see the story starts with the sheep and ends with the sweater. And that's where sweaters come from. So, if you do have a sweater, or if you're thinking about that, that's how sweaters are made. So, if it's cold outside, well, I don't know if you're watching this in the summer or the winter, but if it's cold outside, if it is the winter, put on a sweater. And now you know where sweaters come from. Okay, that was an interesting story. Hope you liked it, and we'll see you next time. Take care, everybody.